We begin our message for the collective today with good vibes and breaking through. Maintaining that high vibrational energy is a real challenge. And if anybody tells you that they can be positive all the time, they are not telling the truth. Because the reality is that the universe has ebbs and flows of positive energy, and we're supposed to experience those ups and downs so that we can maintain a balanced perspective on things that are happening. But what we find is that when we consciously try to focus our thoughts and our energies on things that are productive and positive and valuable, focusing on solutions instead of all of the worst possible scenarios, we do find that life is a little bit more enjoyable. So it's not that we're not supposed to experience ups and downs, it's that we're supposed to recognize when we're in that down, take those times to rest, take those times to recuperate yourself and to preserve your energy rather than exerting it on those negative forces, so that when we are feeling better, when we are feeling more positive, we have the outlook that things are going to work out in our favor, we have lots of energy to spend on that. It is a intentional focus for some of us. There is times when it seems like there is a lack of balance, and we have to work towards this. So I'm getting from spirit that there has been a number of you that have started to recognize that this is really the key. This is really the trick, and you're finding ways to break through these patterns, finding new habits, new intentions, new mantras, new self care routines, whatever it is that you require, whatever it is that you want to call it, ritual work towards staying in the vibration that brings you the most effort or the most progress towards your efforts and your manifestation. There's going to be times that we find that it's time to rest and recuperate, and we need to take those times and honor that space, as well as when we are pushing and progressing and moving forward. I'm feeling right now that the energy is about progress, it's about pushing forward and discovering that there are things that you have not yet explored. There are things that you are still learning about yourself, about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So use this time wisely. Use this time to do the things that make you feel as though you are in alignment. Stay up, stay positive, and do the best that you can every day. That's more than enough. We are just not, as humans, meant to struggle and flounder through life on our own at all times without any help or without community, without that village to support us. So spirit is asking us to remember to reach out in those times when we feel as though we have nothing left to fight for, or we have no fight left in us. When we feel as though that energy has waned, where we are struggling to move forward, that's the time that we are supposed to reach out for support. That's the time that we're supposed to remember those people around us that love us. We don't have to think about our progress for manifesting our goals and our desires as a constant, steady work. Sometimes there's some rest and recuperation involved. Sometimes it involves taking some time to go and be present and enjoy your friends and family and just rest and be a human being and enjoy the fact that we're alive and that we exist in this time, in this moment. There's so many different struggles that we have to endure through life. There's nothing wrong with remembering to take rest. There's nothing wrong with needing to be a part of a greater community or having help in a project. There's no shame in saying I cannot do it alone, because none of us can. None of us can truly exist on our own. We are interdependent creatures, and it's really important that we keep this in mind. Spirit wants us to keep this in mind, especially as we have reached this point in our work where we are starting to feel as though we have put in so much and we've not necessarily seen the product of that yet. That we feel as though we're not sure if we can continue, we're not sure if it's worth it. But Spirit wants to remind us that every single step in our progress is worth everything that we've accomplished. We have to look back and admire all the work that we've done. And what better way to do that than to celebrate with friends and family, to be a part of a group, to collaborate with others? Because then we're going to really have that perspective to draw back on of all the work that we've done and all the efforts that we've put forth in the things that we've done. It's not gone unnoticed by other people. It often goes unnoticed by ourselves. When your head is down and you're working consistently on something, you very rarely look up to admire the work that you've done so far, but others are watching from afar and they can see all of the work that you've done. So sometimes we need to have that other perspective just to keep things clear. So it feels as though there is a some necessary purging in order, and that these are some things that we haven't considered in the past. That we have, we're being asked to look at some things that we have grown very comfortable with, and consider that perhaps these things are not as healthy and productive for us or as beneficial for us as we have thought in the past. There are times that we grow so used to the environment that we're in that we don't recognize how toxic or how filthy it's become. Much like a fish can exist in a bowl of water for a much longer time, it's almost as if it's a shock when it finally gets that clean water. We finally recognize that we had been kind of working against ourselves, and we have to be patient and have compassion with ourselves on what kind of environment we tolerated for so long, because it wasn't immediate. It didn't happen like that just overnight. This was something that developed. I'm getting some relationship toxicity that you've kind of just become used to what it is that um, you endure on a daily basis, and you figure this is just what it's like to be in these types of relationships, whether this is a friendship that has become emotional dumping grounds. I'm getting for some that this is where your partner is not conscious of how much negativity they are dumping onto you on a daily basis. And so there is some openness to communication that's going to be required, and setting some boundaries. And what you might recognize is there's going to be some who fight back at this boundary. They don't like the fact that you all of a sudden can no longer tolerate the type of energy that they're dumping on you on a daily basis. They want that, they need that for their own health, but they're not realizing that they're causing you a great deal of detriment in the process. And it's unfair to you. It's not something that you're required to endure for another person. Okay. So, what you're going to see is that there's going to be some big shifts and changes in that type of environment. You may actually have to leave that environment. You may find yourself going through a period of reevaluating some of your friendships. And all of these are necessary, processes. And friends that love you and truly care about you will absolutely continue to work towards a better, healthier relationship with you. Many blessings to you on your journey. I'm always grateful to be a part of yours, and thank you for being a part of mine.